Good afternoon. My name's Chris Brown. I'm an analyst with Morgans Financial. I'm here at the Noosa Mining Conference, the 14th. Is this one? I'm here with James Champion de Crespigny, the Managing Director of Catalyst Metals. We've been following Catalyst now for some time. Started out as an exploration company. It's now a medium-sized gold producer. James, this is your first Noosa Mining Conference. We've been going now for 4 years, but this is the first one. Thanks for coming. Can you give us a little bit of your background, please?
Yeah, thank you, Chris. It's lovely to be here. I'm a chartered accountant by background, but I've been in the mining industry for now about 14 years and cut my teeth in the private equity side of things, and then on the advisory side before stepping onto the board and ultimately the chief executive about nearly 2 years ago now into Catalyst.
In that 2 years, Catalyst changed, James, from an exploration company with a great project in Victoria. Now you've got two mines. The big one is obviously the Plutonic Gold Belt, which is sitting there behind us. Perhaps you can tell us a little bit of what that's doing now and what you're expecting it to do over the next 12, 18 months.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. I mean, that's very much the case. In the last 3 years, we've bought three companies and gone from being an explorer to a producer. And most people these days are interested in what we've got in Western Australia at Plutonic. We bought two companies contiguous to one another about 12 months ago. And over the last 12 months, we've been able to go from what was largely a loss-making entity to quite a profitable business based off the back of quite a lot of operational improvements and changes. And then subsequently, we've seen the gold price rise. And so our position is today very different than what it was 12 months ago. But also very different from 3 years ago when we were just a small explorer in Victoria.
And where do you see the Plutonic Gold Belt going over the next 12 months, maybe 2 years?
I think that's the big question that people ask with Catalyst. We bought one company right next door to another, and the purpose of that was to buy the exploration ground and in doing so consolidating the whole belt. So over the next 2 or 3 years, that consolidation is going to allow us to feed those ore sources on the exploration ground all the way into the processing plant, and we should see gold production lift, we think, pretty close to 200,000 ounces, if not more, just from that Plutonic belt alone. So we're quite excited about that opportunity. It's never been done before in Australian history. The Plutonic assets have always been owned by foreigners, by majors like Barrick and Homestake. But now we're the first time we're consolidating this under one Australian company, and hence the opportunity, we think, to get to those 200,000 ounce milestone.
And we did mention earlier the exploration in Victoria. I must admit, when Catalyst floated in 2012, that was my interest, the potential for another Bendigo just north of Bendigo under very shallow cover. Can you tell us what's happened there and where you see that going?
Yeah, I think Bendigo still is very much a part of the Catalyst business. I mean, in the end, we delineated a resource of 160,000 ounces down there, but very, very high grade, Chris. In fact, one of the deposits is 26 grams, and we think there are a lot more of those there. We've really only just begun. And so I think for Catalyst, what we present now that's different from when we started is the business is able to continue to drill there without raising further money. Other exploration plays in Victoria are very dilutive in terms of future capital raisings because you just can't explore in Victoria without capital. It does require a lot of capital. So we had to build a business around Victoria if we were going to realise that upside, and hence we moved to Western Australia to purchase the Plutonic gold mine, and we think that's going to work well in the long run for us, and our shareholders hence have 26 gram deposits, and that's all upside. We don't think that's reflected in our price, and so we just think that's wonderful upside for our shareholders.
Thanks very much, James. Thanks for your time. Thanks for the update on Catalyst Metals. It has gone up quite dramatically in share price as it's moved from being an explorer and therefore with no cash flow and potentially liable to go back to the market for equity. Now with its strong cash flow from Plutonic and a small cash flow from Henty in Tasmania that we didn't even really talk about, you've got a company which is self-sufficient, can fund its expansion and growth. Thanks very much, James.
Thank you.